everyone. So in this video, I would like to discuss some tips for baby bats, or those who are just new to the goth subculture, and even just people who are curious or wish to know a bit more about goth. Now, first of all, I'm going to say that I dislike the word baby bat. I think it's derogatory. And I typically use the word newcomer to describe someone who wants to get into it and isn't necessarily sure about what they should do or what it's about. And this video is also meant for just people who, as I said, just want to know a bit more um, about goth and some aspects of it. So these are just my personal tips, and this doesn't necessarily have to go for just goth people. It can go for basically anyone who has a style that somewhat deviates from the norm, or just anyone of any particular group. Really, this could apply to. But these are my personal tips. Um, so the first thing that I recommend is, at least physically, aesthetic wise, ease into it. Now, I know you might want to go all crazy and go all out right away, but especially if you're still living with your parents, or you have family that might object, it can make it difficult. And your drastic new appearance might confuse them, or it might kind of shock them. So especially if you're living alone, if you're an adult, it's fine. But if you're still living with your parents, you might want to just sort of ease into it over a couple of months. At least that's what I personally did. Is I just started wearing a little bit of black, and my style got a little. It just kept evolving over time. And a good thing about easing into it is you can find sort of your own personal aesthetic. You can try out different looks and see what you like and maybe what you don't like. Okay, the next important tip is, try to maintain a positive attitude. And this is because, unfortunately, there are a lot of negative stereotypes about goths, or people that are just different. That were like all mopsy and depressed and suicidal. And admittingly, I am actually depressed. I do actually suffer from clinical depression, and it has definitely taken a toll on my life. It's not a result of being goth. It's not, you know, my fashion has nothing to do with it. It's just something that I deal with. And a lot of goths do have depression. As I said, I do at least. But still, try not to be too mopey or sad. Try to smile at people when you see them, or say hi when someone says hi back. And you should always try to stay positive. Now, staying positive doesn't mean hiding your sadness. It doesn't mean trying to act all happy and everything, when you don't want to, because sadness is not a bad thing. Expressing your sadness and your inner pain is not a bad thing. And if you are generally sad, or you generally feel mopey and upset, it's perfectly okay to show it on the outside. It's perfectly okay to basically let yourself give in to those emotions. It's just that you shouldn't. Basically, what I'm trying to say, in a nutshell, is that, don't be going around acting mopey and sad just for the sake of being mopey and sad. Okay, so the next tip on this list is very, very important, which is please do not listen to the media when it comes to wanting to know about goth or any subculture uh, that deviates from the norm. The media is greatly, especially the mainstream media, is greatly misinformed. They have no idea what they're talking about, and you do not want to, um, you don't want to uh, give in to the stereotypes. You don't want to portray the stereotypes because not only will it make you look like a fool, but it will also hurt other goths also, because unfortunately, and this sucks, but it's the truth, is that if just one person from a particular group does something, then it makes the media assume that everyone else within that group is just like that, which is complete and utter, BS, because even people within the same group, no two people are alike, and just because one bad person in a group does something doesn't mean that everyone within that group will do that bad thing. But more importantly, the stereotypes can be very harmful, and they can be very harmful to not just the goth community as a whole, but also to yourself. And those stereotypes are things like being depressed all the time, or cutting yourself. Please do not ever cut yourself. Please do not ever harm yourself. If you feel that way, please seek help immediately. And please understand that goth has nothing to do with religion. We are not Satanists. Some of us are, but then again, some of us are also Christians. Some of us are atheists. Your personal style really doesn't have any say on your religion. And again, yeah, all those stereotypes, avoid them. Don't think that you have to act that way, or that you have to be that way in order to be perceived as goth, or in order to be goth enough, because those stereotypes are very harmful, and please just don't listen to them. There are plenty of great sources online that talk about what it actually is. And if you're curious, there are a lot of goth YouTubers who talk about what it actually is, such as It's Black Friday, or of Herbs and Altars has a lot of great videos about this. So again, I know I'm emphasizing this a lot, but I really need to be clear that please, I emphasize please, do not use mainstream media and the stereotypes as your base for what goth is. Please don't. Okay, so the next tip that is very important is keep being you. And what I mean by that is that it's okay to like things that aren't necessarily goth, or that things that maybe are outside of the subculture. And I want you to understand that you should be goth because you want to be, not because you're trying to fit in, or because you feel like you have to be. Okay, like this is genuinely who I feel like I am. Goth is a very big part of who I feel that I am, and I enjoy it. But if you don't enjoy it, or if you are just trying to fit in, or you're trying to do something, please don't. Uh, Now, don't be like super. You don't have to be super ultra goth all the time. It's okay to have other interests. I mean, I certainly do. I am, in addition to being goth, I am also a huge geek. I am a nerd. I enjoy comic books, and I also enjoy discussing movies and video games. So that those are just a few of my many interests. And I am a big Elvis fan, which Elvis Presley is about as ungoth as it possibly gets. But I like his music, and so don't feel that you only have to listen to goth music or you only have to do this or this. No, do it because you want to, not because you feel like you have to. It is very, very important for you to be yourself. And another important tip, which kind of relates to being yourself, is own your own style. And what I mean by that is don't try to copy someone else's style, especially within the goth subculture. Um, you want do your own thing, be unique. If you like a particular look that someone else has, it's okay to try and emulate that, and it's okay to take sort of elements from it, but don't try to copy them completely. Like me, for example, I always try to be very unique in my appearance. I have very sort of anime style hair, which is something I quite like, and not a lot of people have anime type style hair. I feel that it's one of the things that makes me me. But again, yeah, if you like a particular look, like if you go to a goth club or something, you say, "Oh wow, he or she, oh I love that outfit. Oh I love their makeup style." Don't try to copy it exactly. Take inspiration from it, but it's important to do your own thing because there are a lot of different types of styles within goth and alternative subcultures, and you can really create your own sort of unique appearance that is special to you and you only. Uh, Also, people might get annoyed if they notice you copying them. So please just and a big part of it is being creative too. So try to find your own style. It's okay to take inspiration, but don't try to emulate other people completely. Now, this is very important, which is don't let people discourage you. Now, the sad truth is that there are a lot of people out there in the world that are ignorant and very judgmental, and you have to understand that it's not your fault that they are that way, they just are. And you have to accept that some people, if you are within an alternative subculture or you have a look or a style or even interests that deviate from the normal or the mainstream, that there are going to be people out there who will not understand you, people who will judge you, who will make all kinds of ridiculous assumptions about you that are not true, such as the thing with goths being Satanists or being self harmers. That is not true at all. That is a very dangerous stereotype, and I already explained. Please stay away from those. But please understand that a lot of what they say, they are just misinformed. And I know personally because I have dealt with bullies most of my life. And a lot of people are very judgmental. They can be very hurtful. But please try not to let it get to you. I know it can be hard. I know I know that it can be very difficult sometimes not to let not to let some of the things that people tell you affect you. Sometimes people can say things so cruel that they will make you burst into tears. Please just understand they don't know what they're talking about, and that their opinion honestly does not matter. Your opinion and what you like and doing what you love, that is what truly matters. And the people who love you and care about you will like you just because you're you. Okay, so the next tip I recommend is take advantage of thrift stores. Now, I myself am a very big thrifter. In fact, most of my clothing actually comes from thrift stores such as Goodwill, and a lot of people make fun of that. They're like, "Ha ha, you shop at Goodwill, ha ha." But the truth is that you can actually find a lot of cool stuff at thrift stores such as Goodwill, because a lot of people actually throw out some pretty unique items. In fact, I found a couple of shirts there that I don't think would have ever existed anywhere else and that are truly unique. Also, it's a good idea to thrift because, especially if you're on a budget like I am, because admittingly, I do not have a lot of money at all. And if you go to some gothy alternative clothing websites like Ribbit Head or Rebels Market, some of their items are ludicrously expensive. Like, oh my god, like seriously, like $100 for a shirt. Like, that is just absurd to me. Like, yeah, it's a nice shirt, but is it really worth $100? I mean, I could buy so much more for that. Um, and and it's one cool thing is that by thrifting, you'll find unique items that may not exist anywhere else. Okay, so the next tip is beware of elitists. Now, what I mean by elitists are those people that, unfortunately, even among goth people, and really among any group at all, really, there's always going to be someone who's toxic. And I know that's, it's a sad fact, but there are going to be negative, toxic people from all walks of life wherever you go. And there are a lot of people within the scene who are like, "Oh my god, you're such a poser. Oh, oh my god, you don't shop at Rivethead. Oh, you don't have that item. Oh, you've never listened to that particular band. Oh, you don't know those particular lyrics of that one particular song by heart. Then, oh my god, why don't you just go back to being normal, you little wannabe conformist?" Like, I can't stand those people, honestly. And unfortunately, they do exist. And if you go to a goth club, you may run into those type of people. But then again, there are those type of people even who are not in the goth scene. There are those type of people everywhere around. And um, again, please know that these people, they think they are the center of the universe. They think that they are always right, and that everyone should bow down before their opinion because they are correct and everyone else is wrong. But honestly, they're just as wrong as anyone else. I mean, nobody is nobody knows everything, and also it's okay to not know everything there is to know about goth or any subculture. It's okay that you don't have every single Sisters of Mercy song, all the lyrics memorized in your head and you can sing it word for word. Okay, that's just ridiculous. I mean, if you do have all the lyrics to a particular song memorized. That's awesome because the more you know, the better. But don't feel like you're any less valuable or you're any less special or that you're any less goth just because one person from a subculture happens to know something that you don't. And the final tip is don't take yourself too seriously. Understand that it's just a subculture, it's just an expression of who you are, and that it's not a commitment, it's not a job, it's not something you should feel like you're obligated to do. You don't have to dedicate every minute of every day of your life to being, to being goth or to expressing yourself, and understand that it's okay to have a little fun every now and then, and it's okay to laugh at yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and that um, don't try to. This is good because by not taking it seriously and by just try to find the funny parts in it and by doing that, it will help you to not become an elitist because the elitists do take it way too seriously. They, but I already discussed that. But basically, yeah, have fun, be yourself, and don't take anything too seriously, and to it's okay to like something that isn't necessarily a part of the subculture or the style that you identify with. So yeah. Okay, so that was my little video on tips for newcomers to Goth, who want to know a little bit about how to be Goth, and also just some general life advice that I wanted to share with all of you, because I feel that these things are important and they need to be talked about. And a lot of this advice, a lot of the things that I discussed in this video don't just go for goth people or people wanting to be goth. It can also apply to pretty much anyone, really. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Comment down below if this helped you or if this sorted out some of the things, some misconceptions you might have had, or just tell me your thoughts down below. And I will see all of you in my next video. So until then, hugs, hugs, and well, I'd give you a hug if I could, but I can't through a video camera. But anyways, yeah, have a nice day, and I will see you in my next video. So bye.